Hello, so this is my Friday forecast and let's get started right away with the euro. So what I can see right here is that we broke the high, got an absolutely huge wick, retraced, then we got this range, then we broke the low, got a large wick, retraced, signaling to me more ranging price action, then broke the high, retraced, and again we broke the high and retraced. So currently I classify this as ranging price action. And I would expect something like this to happen, so that we just stay in this larger range. And what is important to note, that if we do get this larger range, that there are liquidity areas, so above and also below. And we need to watch out what happens when the price reaches those liquidity areas, because we know that there are people stops here, so price can react. It can just push up into it and then shoot to downside. Then I'll look for a short trade. Same thing to the downside, so it can push into it in a descending fashion. Then we get an impulse to the upside, look for a trade. What can also happen is that we can just shoot to the upside from here, get a really nice impulse. I'll then look for a trade. So same thing to the downside, impulse, look for a trade. A really high probability possibility for me would be if we shoot to downside, get a pullback, another push, and then enter on a bullet short trade. Or same thing to the upside, so a push, pullback, another push, get the bullet long trade. So this would signal a trend and it would be very high probability. But this to me is currently ranging, so I need to see a clear impulse out of this range, either to the upside or to the downside. And since it is Friday, I'm sitting on my hands and I'm waiting to see what will happen on Monday. So yeah, that is it for the euro. Now let's take a look at the Aussie and US dollar. What I can see right here is that, so I was actually in a long trade right here. Let me just put that up here. 12 pips stop. So we had this impulse push to the upside, pullback, continuation of the momentum, really huge continuation. So there was an opportunity to enter right here. But after this candle, I wanted to see a bit more. I didn't want to see a V reversal to the entry level. So this was the entry level right here. So what happened is that we got a push to the downside and a clear V reversal. So after this candle I was not willing to enter a trade, because to me this signaled just volatility. So again we got more of a V reversal. Then we got this candle, a small pullback, and then we got this candle with a really clean close. So this to me looked very high probability, since we are on a heavy uptrend, and this clean close was just the thing I needed to enter on a trade. So I placed a bullet short order right here at this level, so at this inside bar, 2 pips above it, and then I got tagged in and I got tagged out, unfortunately. So it was a 1% loss, but it fit my plan 100%. It was a very good trade, and I really liked especially the clean close and that we were on a heavy uptrend, so I was very willing to risk that 1%. Unfortunately I did get stopped out, but those are the probabilities playing out. So it seems that December is a bit of a slow month, but that is all okay, because in backtesting that is also the results that I got. So currently, after I got stopped out, we broke the low, retraced, so we do have this small descending right here. So here is the descending, but what happened then, we broke the high, we got some momentum, but retraced straight away. So currently I do classify this as ranging price action. We just broke the low, retraced, broke the low, retraced, broke the high, retraced, not giving me any clear momentum either to the downside or to the upside. And I'm waiting, I'm sitting on my hands. What I can expect is more of a range at this level, so something like this. and I would stay out of that sort of price action. I need to see a nice clear impulse to the downside, or maybe an impulse pullback, another impulse, bullet short trade. This would be a very high probability. Same thing to the upside, I need to see a clear impulse, then I would look for a trade, or an impulse pullback, another impulse, look for a bullet long trade. What can also happen is we can get an ascending from here, something like this, then we shoot to the downside, I'll look for a trade, or we can get just a descending structure from here, shoot to the upside, look for a trade. And we know that if we do get a larger range, there are liquidity areas above and below, so like this, and there are people stops above and below, and we need to see what happens when price reaches those areas. So maybe it will descend into a liquidity area, then we push to the upside, look for a trade. So yeah, this can happen, and if we just reach so let's say we got the range here and we reach the liquidity area in an ascending fashion, that means that there is no conviction to the upside, and the market makers want to take out people's stops in the upper liquidity area, and the price is very likely to push to the downside. Then I would be very willing to enter on a short trade. Okay, so that is it for the Aussie US dollar. Now for the final pair, so the Aussie and the Japanese yen. This looks even worse than the Aussie. So we got an impulse push to the upside, pullback, another big push, so large momentum and a clear trend. Then we broke the high, retraced, broke the low, retraced, broke the low, retraced, broke the high, retraced, and broke the high, retraced. So this is signaling a heavy, so a really big range to me. So something like this. Because we're just breaking lows, retracing, breaking the highs, retracing, we broke the low, retraced here, broke the low, retraced, broke the high, and now retraced. So this is not giving me any conviction, and it's just signaling, like I wrote here, ranging price action. So what I would like to see is an impulse to the upside, look for a trade, or an impulse to the downside, look for a trade, and it needs to be a really big clear impulse, because otherwise I don't see any momentum right here. I just see this as a range. Or as I said, push, pull back, another push, look for a trade, push to the downside, pull back, another push, look for a trade. Or maybe we get an ascending right here, impulse to the downside, look for a trade. Or we get a descending structure right here, and we get an impulse to the upside, also look for a trade. And if we do get this larger range, something like this, then as I said, we know that there are people's stops below and above, so those are liquidity areas, and we need to see what happens. So when the price reacts into those areas, as I said, we can get this large range, and then we can get this ascending, let's say, and then a heavy drop to the downside, look for a trade. This means that the stops have been taken out right here above the range, and that the market makers are ready to push the price to the downside. So once we get that confirmation, once we get that impulse candle, I'm very willing to enter on a trade on a pullback. So yeah, that's it for the forecast. So today is Friday, so the market is soon going to be closing. We will see what will happen on Monday, and I'm expecting some moves. So yeah, that's it, and goodbye.